A man is an adult human male, which is a biological category for mankind. Masculinity are properties, characteristics of the male sex. These characteristics are socially constructed and institutionalized. Feminism is the fight to gain equality for women politically, socially, and economically. One of the reasons the feminist movement started was because of patriarchy, which is gender hierarchy of power within society and culture. Patriarchy reinforced male privilege within society. Male privilege is an institutional, cultural, economical, and political advantage given to men compared to women because they are seen as an inferior class of people. When explaining compulsory dysympathy, we can think of it as a group of men being asked by the dominant culture to not imagine it as bad as if their mother was the girl they were watching or harassing. The phrase doing gender is following how society expects you to act based on the gender assigned to you at birth. Nearly everything somebody does is doing gender, even when getting dressed in the morning, people are doing gender by having other people perceive them and treat them as male or female. Males do gender simply by having short hair or wearing clothes designated for men or even not wearing makeup. Hegemonic masculinity is the idea that there is a culturally normative ideal of masculinity and what it means to be a man. Being strong, emotionally sheltered, making your body an instrument of your will, and so on and so forth. Because hegemonic masculinity is an ideal, it is never impossible to full achieve, but society pushes males to believe that they should achieve it with the use of movies and other media. Embodiment in terms of masculinity is all about making your body an instrument of your will. The ideal body of a man is both lean and muscled while being tall and strong. Embodiment is something that society expects of both males and females and frowned upon those who don't live up to those expectations. Gender capital is something similar to having respect or an upper hand within your own gender. To have gender capital, someone must follow gender norms. In class, we talked about how bodybuilders obtain gender capital, especially within their gym, and it was a form of respect they earned through their bodies and how they looked. When describing masculine socialization, we can put it as men being categorized in certain ways in the eyes of society by being the provider and as the ones who are served their dinner by women because it is in their role to be treated as men. Subordinated masculinity is the cultural way in which men are supposed to be men and act the right way, otherwise they won't be considered masculine. Male gaze is when the audience is put into the men's perspective by watching him, watch, or observe something else. Homosociality is a term not that many people have heard of. This is described as same-sex relationships that are not of attraction to one another or being intimate, just a friendship. Objectification is the act of treating another person merely as an instrument for one's own pleasure, something that is done by both men and women in society. Hegemonic negotiation is the process of gradually changing but not eliminating dominant ideologies. Some examples would be racism, sexism, and although they still exist, it's not the same as before. Homophobia is the fear and hostility towards queer subjects that come from people that have hate towards homosexuality and homosexual people. In this generation, homophobia is everywhere, whether it's music, TV shows, and in schools. Homoeroticism is a tendency to be aroused by the same sex or to obtain sexual gratification from a member of the same sex. This has been implied in many ads that have to do with clothing. Denaturalized masculinity is a form of masculine performance that shows that it is not natural.